is retired NYPD Inspector Paul Morrow. Paul, great to see you. We're going to talk about terrorism in a second, but I first want to get to this Jocelyn Nungari case. This poor young girl, she was essentially a girl, 12 years old, was allegedly raped, terrorized for 2 hours, and then literally strangled to death by these two illegal migrants who were just awful what happened to this girl. One of the migrants apparently had an ankle bracelet, an ice ankle bracelet on, which Biden, when he introduced this as an alternative, these are alternatives to detention programs, claimed that this would help get the migrant crime in order. Clearly, it hasn't done that, has it?
No, clearly it hasn't. And, that's part and parcel of a series of half measures where they've put in an app in order to facilitate things at the border. And realistically, all they've done is just made it easier. The idea that, look, nobody is contending that the majority or all of the people who were coming here illegally seeking asylum are criminals. We know that. But if the number is conservatively 11 to 20 million people who have come seeking asylum, 1% puts you at the 100 to 200,000 level of criminals. And the idea, as Maduro empties his prisons, which he is doing, the idea that somehow or other an ankle bracelet is going to help mitigate that. We're seeing the fallacy of that now as these migrant crimes stack up. And if you're not supposed to notice or say it, but it's young women, girls, who are being victimized.
Well, the only good news, and I don't want to paint anything as good news in this case, but at least the DA and the judge are taking this seriously. I mean, the DA, a woman named Ogg, spoke to what they're doing to try to get these people, to make the case against these two perps, and then to get the harshest sentence possible. I just want to play that and get your reaction. Roll tape.
Border prosecutors, sheriffs, and local law enforcement are under tremendous pressure because of the additional crimes being committed by folks streaming across the border. Here in Houston, we are a first stop and hub for these folks, and so our violence level is also increased. This hurts the morale of police and prosecutors when we see folks with ankle monitors committing crimes. It raises the question, why were they released in the first place?
Now, the irony, and you were telling me this before we went on, is that woman was actually supported by Soros at one point. It seems like even some of the Soros prosecutors are actually rebelling against this very lenient way of dealing with criminality.
Yeah, you're beginning to see the sea change, and it's all just about getting elected and staying elected, and that's why she was primaried, because even the Democrats are coming around to the idea that they went way too far in taking the Soros money, climbing on the defund and decarceration bandwagon. I would argue that we're seeing a bellwether race here in the New York 16th. today,
Yes.
the Democratic primary between Latimer and Bowman. Bowman is a dyed-in-the-wool defunder. Latimer is not. Let's see how that goes. But to your point, I think we're seeing a change, but it's too little, too late.
And very quickly, but you talked about how many bad apples there are coming across the border. Even if it's a small 1% number, you're talking 100,000 or more. How can, if President Trump is elected and he follows through on his promise to deport these millions of migrants that have come over, how do you do it with sanctuary cities that don't cooperate with ICE?
You know, it's going to be tough, especially since he's going to have trouble with, he's going to get sued. There's going to be an injunction. And this whole thing has got to go through Congress. And he may not have the House, according to the current polling. I fear a stalemate in the new presidency if Donald Trump does win. And I'm afraid that some of this stuff that Biden has managed to put in place is going to be here for a good while.
Okay. Of course, he